All right, so in this video, we're going to be doing some post-mortem analysis on the Trump NFT drop. I want to explain to you guys how I was able to identify that this was a very obvious buy and how you can do the similar analysis in the future to identify whether or not an NFT project is a good buy or not. So first thing you have to do is you have to understand very, very basic, I guess you call it tokenomics. Tokenomics are usually, that term's usually reserved for a crypto coin token project, but NFTs, I guess, have tokenomics as well, supply and demand. So the maximum supply of these Trump NFTs were 45,000, and the minters, Donald Trump or the company that was minting these on his behalf, they were asking $99 a piece, right? Asking for $99. And then it's also important to understand that you're taking a 10% royalty haircut when you turn around to sell it. So in reality, for you to break even, right? For you to break even, we'll just do times minus 10%. For you to break even, first of all, let's just isolate for this part, right? They were valuing this collection out of the gate, and we're gonna get out our handy dandy calculator here. They were only valuing this collection at $4.5 million, 4.455 to be exact, but roughly $4.5 million, right? That is very inexpensive in comparison to a lot of other projects out there. So if we look at the market caps or the valuations of these other projects, which is simply the floor price times the number of assets in the collection, obviously Bored Apes being number one and, CryptoPunks being number 1 and 2, 697,000 Ethereum multiplied out by the price of Ethereum, that's going to be roughly a $700 million market cap, maybe closer to 800 depending on the price of Ethereum at any given time. Now, remember, Donald Trump or his, company, whatever, this mint was being sold to you at a $4.5 million valuation. Let's scroll down on the market cap chart here on CryptoWatch for NFTs, right? We see that $4.5 million valuation doesn't even put this in the top, however many projects. It's not even on the front page here. There's like World of Women, Cool Cats, Proof Collective, CryptoPunks V1, VFriends, all valued way high. This is VFriends Series 2. VFriends is all the way up here at 65,000 Ethereum. Okay? Like if we go to page 2 and we try to look for a comparable project to $4.5 million, we're getting stuff like Rumble Kong League, Crypto Skulls. So basically all we had to do was say, can this Donald Trump NFT become worth more than roughly 4.5, really 5 million. I'm going to show you why 5 million, because there's a 10% haircut on it. So if we go back over here, right, we take into account that 10% haircut and we say, this, right, times 0.1, and really I should have done times 1.1. So we'll do from the beginning, 45,000 times 99, right, times 1.1. That shows us the valuation this needs to get to in order for us to break even. Because remember, we're going to be hit with that 10% royalty. You're also going to be hit with like 2.5% fees. So we can go ahead and round this up to $5 million market cap. So we does it make sense for an NFT project, regardless of how good or bad the art is, for that project to be valued? Again, this project was dropped by, like him or hate him, one of the most prolific people in the world, let alone easily the most prolific person in the world to have dropped an NFT project. Okay. The other thing about this is it was what is known as a stealth mint. There was no hype. There was no whitelisting. There was no, nobody got an unfair advantage in order to get in early. It wasn't like you didn't have the opportunity to buy these at $99 a piece. Everybody that was in the US had an opportunity to buy these at $99 a piece. And if you weren't in the US, you had the opportunity to buy them on the secondary market, actually for a brief period of time, under $99. They dropped to like $60 or $70 for a couple of hours there. So everybody had the opportunity to get in these on day one. It's just not everybody was doing the math here. They were looking at this as, oh, Donald Trump, Orange Man bad. This is stupid. This is dumb. How is this going to be worth anything? Well, it was valued so low at just $4.5 million that it made sense that this was going to pump. It's like, can a former president of the United States with 88 million followers on Twitter and a ton of other followers elsewhere, and a huge platform that the media loves to circulate, stupid stuff that he does and loves to make fun of him, right? And he's dropping an NFT project. It's obviously going to make headlines, right? It's obviously going to make headlines. So can that warrant a $4.5 million valuation? Sure. Because what people don't understand about market cap is they think that $4.5 million is actually in the project. They think that like $4.5 million, which is still a very low number, but they think that $4.5 million has to flow into the project in order for it to be worth that much. That's not how it works. Let me explain how it works, right? For minting, right? For the NFT mint, right? This is just going to be a little square called mint. $4.5 million actually does have to flow in, right? Because that's what they're charging for the mint, right? So once all of the capital inflows, and this is going to be our capital inflows area, right? And a very important piece of this Donald Trump NFT puzzle was the fact that where is this capital coming from, right? Because normally when a new crypto NFT project drops, the capital that's flowing in is already from other NFT collectors, people within the space. But this was different because we had new capital coming in. Not only did we have some capital coming in from other crypto people in the space that were paying attention to NFTs, we had capital coming in from the average Trump supporter who saw this and was like, oh, well, for $99, I can buy this with a debit card, right? And an email address. They made the mint super, super easy. So we have these capital inflows. And yes, these capital inflows, the first $4.5 million goes towards the mint, and that is subverted. That goes to Donald Trump and company, the company that he licensed, right? I'm just going to refer to it as Donald Trump. The first $4.5 million goes there. That's why it is extraordinary. Like while the mint is actually going on, it's why it's extraordinarily difficult for secondary sales and the floor price on OpenSea to go up above the mint price. Why would you buy a floor NFT above mint price, right, when you could just mint one for $99, right? Well, the only reason you'd realistically do that is if you're at your mint cap and you wanted to mint more, or if you weren't in the US and the mint wasn't available for you. But otherwise, it's very difficult because all of the capital that's flowing in is flowing directly into the mint. However, once the mint is done, once the mint is over, all of this, anything that's still flowing in, capital inflows for all of the projects, or for all the people that are wanting to buy NFTs, goes, right, to, let's call it secondary, right? We'll call it OpenSea, right? OpenSea. I should have just put OS, whatever, which is the secondary market, which is going to affect the floor price and the market cap, right? So what we saw on day one, within the first 12 hours, we saw $4.5 million worth of capital inflows into the mint. It only took 12 hours to mint out. So, and I was observing this in real time because I wanted to know the number. Is how much of a capital inflow or capital injection, how much trade volume, and we see that number here on OpenSea, 6.5 thousand Ethereum, which is roughly $6.5 million or so, maybe 6.6, $6.7 million, a little bit higher depending on the price of ETH at the time. I wanted to know how much capital needed to come in and how much trade volume needed to come in order for this NFT to do a 2 to 3x. Now, a lot of people make the mistake of thinking, 2 to 3x on a $4.5 million valuation, right? Oh, that's going to need to be about 13 to 14 million, 13.5 million if you do the easy math here. We need $13.5 million to come in to push this to a 2x to a 3x. False. No. I was paying attention. I watched it. It did a 2 to 3x. And it depends on the speed at which this capital is coming in, right? It depends on the speed, right? How much demand is coming in to a relatively illiquid floor price. But in the case of these NFTs, it was about 1 $1.5 million over the next 24 hours after mint to 2 to 3x this floor price. Only $1.5 million. So if it only takes $1.5 million, because this capital, again, it's no longer being subverted, and this capital is concentrated at that liquidity that is at the floor price. It is not spread across the project evenly. Okay, so there's $1.5 million that came into the project in the first, the next, within the next 24 hours of this mint, that was able to push the market cap of this project up to about $12 to $13 million, which is currently where we're at, I believe. Right. And then as this starts to slow down a little, well, actually at first it accelerated and we saw a ton of capital come in, and it pushed it up to a 0.8 ETH cap floor price at one point, times 45,000 times roughly the price of Ethereum right now is pretty cheap. I think it's around 1080, or is it 1180? Regardless, like a $38 million market cap, I believe. I did 38 to 40 very briefly was close to a $40 million market cap, which again, if we go over to Crypto Watch here, right, we see 38 million market cap. There's still a ton of projects, like over here on the front page, still a ton of projects, VFriends, sitting at like a $70 million market cap. Right. So even at 0.8 Ethereum, realistically, we could actually see much higher prices. I'm not saying anybody should ape into Donald Trump trading cards right now, but there's room to go. There's potentially room to go if he ends up pumping this thing. Okay. And we see more capital injections. So I hope that makes sense. That is a more technical explanation of how these floor prices move for these projects. And why it takes very, very little money post mint to actually drive a higher valuation, and you can get out of these higher prices. So if you don't follow me on Twitter, follow me at 0xstacker. I put this call out there on the day that we were minting. I minted a bunch of them. It's done very well. And hope that the next time there's a big opportunity like this, you'll be able to capitalize on it as well. Now that you understand how it all works. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.